Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Link's Crossbow, and I am going to be using the Zapper. If you've never seen the Zapper before, which I'd be a bit amazed, it's basically that. It's just a plastic thing that you just equip the nunchuck and the Wiimote into. If you are using a certain battery packed product, not going to say what name, but basically it's got a special rubber cover like that that's a bit bulkier than the normal cover. You have to take it off before you put the Wiimote in. There's no residual movement, it's completely locked into place because the battery pack is actually big enough to fit it in, to lock it in securely without having the actual cover on it. Just basically mentioning that because it means that you're not having to use batteries, so you're able to just use your battery charger, which is cheaper. So, well, yeah, so that's about that then. You can go onto the adjust alignment over there, which basically you're using analog to position the height and position the cursor speed. That's basically there because you have to sit in a position that you're going to be playing the game, which boy is this going to be fun with the camera in the way. And you basically have to look down the sight and see whether or not the actual cursor is where it should be, and then you use the analog to move it. However, if you just use shooting it from the hip, which I think I'm going to have to do here today, unfortunately, just simply because of the camera, then basically you just obviously aim it up to where you think where you think the aim should be or where you want it to be. There's practice mode, which is just you practice the stage. There's multiplayer mode, which is just you can have 4 people taking turns on one of the stages. You choose any stage, or the score attack, which is the main part of the game. So just choose one of the mains. There's 9 things to go on, and each one has 3 parts basically. There'll be a standard shooting part, then a bit of a turny round part, then a walking part. And basically all you do is you just shoot things. If you're on the multiplayer, then as I say, you just choose one of the stages at one of the times from any of the 9 things, any of them that you've got unlocked, and you just basically take turns trying to beat each other's scores. So this is going to be fun. As I say, using the camera, my accuracy is going to be terrible, not to mention the fact that I've got bad eyesight. You've basically got one button to shoot, you've got one button to pause things, it's the B trigger to shoot, and it's just obviously that little thing, which hopefully you can see. You can probably see a bit of a silhouette of it. That is basically, on the official Zapper, it's a bit spongy, so I really hope you guys in the States know what I mean here, but you might want to get some blue tack or some white tack or something and just put it on top of the trigger before you put the Wiimote in, just to basically make it more responsive. However, you can just buy one of the unofficial Zappers, which might work better. You might have to try and ask around trying to find out. I've got one of the unofficial ones from a certain place, and it is pretty good. When you pause it with the A button, then switching A, pushing A doesn't do anything. You have to push the B button again. From there you can either go to the level select at the title screen or adjust the alignment. But otherwise that's pretty much all you've got. But you've also got the Z button to zoom in, and it zooms in wherever you're pointing to, so if you're not actually pointing at the screen, it'll zoom in at where the target was last seen. The whole point of the game is to get points. You get points by hitting the targets, obviously. The more targets you hit in a row without missing, the higher the multiplier you get. The closer to the centre where you hit the targets, the better the points you get. So obviously if you hit it at just the very edge of the target, then you're going to get a few points, which I'll just try like that. So yeah, 10 points. Whereas when the next one pops up, if I get the bullseye, then you get 30 points. You can also shoot these pots and the likes, and you can shoot signs, and basically there's a load of things around that you can shoot, but be careful because, as I say, some of them can knock your multiplier off. There's also special golden targets that will appear every now and then, and they'll give you tons of points if you shoot them in the centre. So that's pretty much everything you do on this. If you shoot the chicken, you get minus points. Just mentioning that, just because everyone does the same on the Zelda games. They all try and go after the chickens. So anyway, this is this mode. Just gonna go back to the title screen, go into the multiplayer, just simply because there I can choose the other 2 stages. Because there's not much to actually talk about. So the faster I show the other modes, the better it is. 2 players, 2 avatars. Yes, they're okay. So here we go. This is the one where basically you're standing in the middle of the screen and you just you point to turn. So you can't move with the analog. You can still zoom in with the Z button, but where you point is where you turn. And the whole point is you've got a radar now in the bottom right corner and a timer and the lights in the top right, and you just shoot the things. You shoot as many as you can for as many points, and that's about that then. So once again, you just shoot things for points. You get the multipliers, as you can see, for not missing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. There's still background stuff to shoot, and shooting green ones actually gives you a machine gun, which basically means you can hold the button down and you fire a lot of ammo all at once. You've got an ammo limit down on the bottom of the screen there, which if you haven't noticed it, it's there again now. So you have to be careful because you don't have infinite ammo. So that's that mode done. Let's go back to the good old stage select and show you the final mode. The final mode lets you actually walk around. So basically now the controls are, the best thing to probably do is to actually take the nunchuck out, but for quickness I'm just going to leave it in. You've now got the analog to move around. You still turn by where you point. You can now, on all of them, I forgot to mention actually, you can just hold the charge up button and basically use it like a shotgun, which obviously that's great for widespread but terrible for accuracy. So that's just something that you might want to do. You can still zoom in, and this is just, again, the whole point is you just shoot things in the time limit for points. If you manage to kill all of these little orc goblins, then you get a bit of a bonus. So that's about that. Themes do change. You can get a bit of a like forest area where you're shooting skulltulas and stuff like that. There's a water section. There's all sorts of different themes on the game. So it's never the exact same thing, even though it's the exact same thing, if you know what I mean. So that's that then. If you've enjoyed this review, then please subscribe to my videos. There'll be plenty more on the way. However, if you'd just like to chat with me about anything that I've said in the video, or just like to chat with a load of gamers, then please head over to vc-forums.com. Only thing I haven't done is the music, so before I sign off, I'll just shut up for a few seconds. So there we go then, that was some music, and this has been Demon212, signing off.